Hello, good morning. Welcome to our inspiration moment, part of our Corona inspiration series. Actually, our 53rd installment. Today, Tuesday, the 26th of May, the third day of Sivan, the first day of the 3 days that prepare us for the holiday of Shavuot. And for us, we have been discussing the meaning and certain things and messages we learn from Shavuot that we can apply to our lives and be inspired for every day in our life. So today, I want to talk about the event that happened before the children of Israel, the Jewish people, got the Torah. So God sends Moses to the Jewish people and says, I have a Torah I want to give to you. I have this Torah that's been sitting by me for a long time, and I want to give it to you. I don't just want you to listen in to a reading. I want to give you the Torah. I want it to become yours, and I want you to follow what it says in the Torah. So we are told in the Medrash that the other nations of the world that God approached, their angels, they said, absolutely not. First tell us what's written in it. So God gave them a sampling, and things that were very common in those days. No adultery, incest, no murder, no stealing. And they rejected it outright. We cannot live in such a style. The Jewish people lived in the same type of society where these things that today we call morality and the way of life that all countries enforce was not part of life, and everybody did like a dog eat dog. There were certain ideas of the way society ran, but still most people lived according to their strength and that they were able to exert over others. So he comes to the Jewish people, Moshe, and he says, God said he wants to give you the Torah. Are you ready to take the Torah? And the Jewish people famously said, Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do and we will hear. Two very powerful words that accompanies the whole narrative of us receiving the Torah. And what they basically said, translated into English loosely, is we will first commit to do whatever Hashem wants, and then we commit to hear and understand the laws and its meanings. So even though they knew that the Torah has many laws, and they knew very little of it, they knew some of it because the Jewish people, starting with Abraham, had kept some of the laws, but they never got the Torah, they didn't know the entirety of it. And they were committing to live by the Torah, and there would be, as part of the commitment, their rewards and their punishments, their consequences. And they answered, we will do and we will hear. We're ready to accept it almost blindly. And then we were committed to embrace it fully by following and understanding and applying it in all senses of our body and our soul. This was a statement that questioned people. Many people have questioned the Jewish people. How do you commit to something before you know what you're committing to? How does someone know? Say I'm going to do something, we don't even know what's involved. So between you and I, do you think the Jews blindly accepted the Torah? No. They already knew who God was. They already saw what God had done. They already saw that God punishes measure for measure. God is not just a wild force that does whatever it wants. But even when it dealt with Pharaoh, he dealt in a systematic way. They already knew from their forefathers that God was just and right. So even though they did not know what the Torah said, they had enough faith to say, God, whatever you put our way, we trust that even if we don't understand ever what it is and why it is, we're going to follow you. It took a lot of courage, took a lot of faith. But they also told God that we will make sure we embrace it and understand it as best as possible to our abilities and abilities you've given humanity. And this is really the approach that we all have to have to the giving of the Torah. The Torah was given once at Mount Sinai, but really every year it's given again in a spiritual sense, and a deeper part of Torah is revealed. And the truth is that the Jewish people have been successful in continuity for thousands of years, hundreds and hundreds of generations, for one reason only, because our commitment to Torah was greater than just what logic and reason calls for. Our commitment to Torah was absolute. And because of our commitment to Torah that's absolute, God had committed to us absolutely as well, beyond logic and reason. Because logic and reason tells us that the Jews shouldn't be here today. So many people have tried, and they had all the power and ability to get rid of us, to get the world rid of the Jewish people, to change us, to convert us. But we're the last one standing. There's no one else standing anymore. We're all these great nations, all these great empires. There may be some countries left of them, but there's no empires. These things don't exist. And it's only one reason, because we committed to Torah, we committed to a way of life that maybe we did not fully understand or comprehend, but it's the one who gave the Torah we committed to. We committed to God, who is the creator and master of the world, and it keeps the world running. And if He gives us the Torah and tells us this is the best way to live life, this is the way to live out your life according to why you were created and put here in this world to fulfill your mission, which is my mission, that the Jewish people were ready for. Then and today. And every year when we read the Torah, on Shavuot, we're making another statement, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will hear. Because if our commitment is only to our limited capacity, then our growth will be to limited capacity. But when our commitment is to the infinite creator of the world, to an infinite capacity, then our capacity to grow will become infinite as well. And that's why the Jews have grown infinitely, not in numbers, in quality, in influence, in impact, and it's still growing. Be a part of it. Let's say Na'aseh v'nishma together. We will do and we will hear. And believe you me, the Jewish people never closed their minds. They never became just an accepting people. The most fiercest debates that we ever find anywhere in any knowledge exist right in the pages of the Talmud. We argued, but we always realized we're arguing to understand God's Torah. We're arguing to understand its application. We're not arguing against God's Torah. And when we follow it in that way, not only do we have the Torah completely and we have God completely, but we regain ourselves completely to be able to be what we can be. So have a great day. Until tomorrow, be safe.